I just want to say that this isn't ranked in any particular order, because honestly, it was hard to decide. There are definitely other moments that could have made this list, but these are the ones that hit me the hardest. Honorable mention: Kuma's backstory. Before we dive into the top moments, I want to mention Bartholomew Kuma, a once revered king turned revolutionary, and then stripped of his identity to become a mindless weapon for the world government. What makes it even worse is seeing how much pain he silently endured, especially with his ties to Bonnie and his ultimate fate as a pacifista. It's completely tragic. It is still one of the saddest stories in One Piece. 10. Nami's backstory. Nami's backstory is one of the most tragic in One Piece. The fact that she was forced to steal for Arlong, watching her adoptive mother Bellemere die in front of her, and having to endure all of that suffering alone. It was brutal, especially when she finally breaks down in front of Luffy, saying, "Help me, Luffy." That moment just hit deep, reminding us of the kind of pain Nami lived through before she ever found her true crew. 9. Sanji's backstories. Sanji's pain comes in two waves. First, there's the unforgettable moment where he's stranded with Zeph, starving and on the brink of death, only to discover the sacrifice Zeph made just to keep him alive. Then much later, in Whole Cake Island, that pain resurfaces. Sanji is dragged back into his toxic family's world, forced to give up everything for their twisted plans. Seeing him cry while begging Luffy to leave, even punching him to push him away. That was tough. Sanji's journey is filled with pride, pain, and selflessness, and both of these arcs show just how much he's had to endure. 8. Ace's death. I don't think any fan of One Piece will ever forget the emotional impact of Ace's death. His final moments, the promises he made, and the heart-wrenching way Luffy calls out his name as he dies, is something that stays with you. The loss of Ace was felt by everyone. We never truly got to see his potential, which sucked, and it was a defining moment in Luffy's journey, marking a shift in his life and his fight for his crew. 7. Whitebeard's death. Speaking of deaths, Whitebeard's passing is just as heartbreaking. He was a symbol of strength and leadership for his crew, and even in his final moments, he kept fighting, doing everything for his family. When he says, "I'm going to die standing up," and the way he goes out, knowing he protected his crew until the end, is a moment that left many fans teary-eyed. He's another person I would have loved to see more of. 6. Chopper's backstory. Chopper's backstory is just pure sadness. Abandoned by his mother, misunderstood by humans, and left all alone, Chopper's painful journey toward finding acceptance is one of the most emotional arcs in One Piece. The fact that he was just a child trying to find a place where he belonged, and eventually did with the Straw Hats, makes his backstory that much more bittersweet. 5. Going Merry's farewell. The Going Merry was more than just a ship. It was the Straw Hats' first real home together. When the ship finally couldn't sail anymore and the crew had to say goodbye, it was as if they were losing a member of their family. That emotional moment where the ship talks to the crew one last time, with Luffy unable to hold back his tears. That's a tough one for sure. I think it's crazy how a boat was the closest thing to making me cry during this anime. Oda is truly great. 4. Kyros' backstory. The story of Kyros in Dressrosa is incredibly tragic. The moment where Kyros is turned into a toy and forgotten by his wife while she dies without recognizing him hits hard. The loss of his identity and the years of suffering, all while his wife lived in sorrow, makes this moment incredibly painful to watch. 3. Brook's backstory. Brook's backstory is one of the most emotionally devastating, especially considering his loneliness and the death of his entire crew. The scene where he sees his old crew's skeletons and the deep sorrow he carries for having been left behind is enough to break anyone. Brook has the strength to laugh and keep going, but that doesn't make his pain any less heartbreaking. 2. Robin's backstory. Robin's backstory is another gut punch. Abandoned by her own mother at such a young age, she watches her island and friends get destroyed. Hunted by the world for her ability, Robin's life was full of loneliness and heartache. The moment she's in Eni's lobby, crying out, "I want to live," and the Straw Hats come to her rescue, is one of the most emotional scenes in the entire series, and it's built off of her backstory. It's the ultimate moment of acceptance and support. Number 1. The Wano arc. And the last heartbreaking moment has to go to the Wano arc, where we see the tragic reality of what the smile fruit has done to the people of Wano. Otoko and Otama, who can't even eat due to Kaido taking the food, and the horrifying moment where Yasui dies while Otoko laughs uncontrollably due to the effects of smile. It's a shocking and gut-wrenching moment, showcasing the cruelty of Wano's current regime. The pain felt by the people and the tragedy of the situation cannot be overstated. So what was the most emotional moment for you? Comment below, and if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and watching another one of my videos. Thanks for watching.